I'm Kelly Wilson, voice actor, mom, Mismatch Software, based in Twin Falls, Idaho. You can check out my full story, kellywilsonvo.com. And this is my podcast, Real Talk. Today's topic, doing a voiceover pickup from a really long time ago. So here's the scenario. You voice a project, you finish it, you get paid, you move on, maybe you work with this person again, maybe you don't. Time passes, and there's a change to that copy, and they need to change a line. And it's a whole new project at this point. You know, the client's paying you, and the client really just wants to change that one line, and if they can make it happen, it will save them so much time. So it has to match. It has to match up. And I know it's your voice, right? Things can change your voice. I mean, your mood, your tone, are you smiling, are you happy? Like, what was going on? Were you exhausted and you were faking being awake? Like, how was your body sitting or standing? Or was it sitting or standing? So lots of things can change your voice, right? Ooh, what kind of software were you using? Really not the software, but like, were you using a different microphone? Were you using a different processor? Were your settings different than they are now? Lots of changes, right? So what I always try to do is I ask for the sample of what was used. Maybe the current video or just the audio file, just kind of depends on the client. Also, I keep a lot of my audio from past projects, probably keep too much. And if it does make sense, I can go back and kind of pull up that old audio that I did send them, and then I can listen. And then I listen to my old read, and then I do my best to voice the new copy and try to match it. Now, before I send that new audio to my client for their review to make sure it works and everyone's happy, I'll pull up that old audio again, and usually I'll just drop it into my, I use Adobe Audition, my audio editor, and I'll have the old audio, and then I'll have my new audio, and I will play a game and just put my headphones on. I'll put the audio right next to each other, and usually I'll put it all in one track just so you hit play, and then the old audio will play right into the new audio. You know it worked if you hear the old into the new and you can't even tell that there's a difference, if it just sounds like the same session, same day, same recording. You know, I'm testing myself and trying to hear. Do I hear a difference? If I do hear a difference, I have to go back and fix it. Usually that is a how did I voice it type of thing. Too much smile. The mood was too much this way, too less this way, yada yada. Sometimes it could be a audio processing thing, but the way I work is I try to make things as simple and clean cut as possible, but it doesn't always work that way because maybe the client sent me, their final audio and it's all processed and it's all big and juicy and delicious, and maybe I need to make my audio big, juicy, and delicious and put it right next to it. Then do that listening test. And then undo because maybe the client still wants me to send it raw because they have their specific settings, which makes a lot of sense. I'm voicing it and I'm doing a little test on myself, on my own audio before I send it. So I actually encountered this last time I was pregnant. I did a voiceover for this client and I was not pregnant. So not pregnant Kelly voicing. Then the revision happened and I was pregnant, and this was actually during a session. If you've ever been pregnant, you know it is so comfortable. It's like the most comfortable experience of your life. No, not at all. But so when I was pregnant, my voice was deeper. I'm like exhausted. I'm like a walking zombie. I'm so tired. I didn't even really notice until they pointed it out, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Sometimes I stand, but I like to sit. So I had to like maneuver my body. It was weird, and it was on the fly, but I had to sit up as straight as I possibly could. Also, they didn't know I was pregnant, and I kind of was, it was a session, and we didn't have cameras on or whatever. They're like, your voice sounds deeper. I'm gonna be like, there's a giant baby pushed on my diaphragm, dude. Like, no, I didn't say that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. And when I did go back and listen, I was like, oh yeah, they're totally right. So anyways, I had to sit up as straight as I possibly could. And I had to maneuver my body. If you've ever been pregnant, toward the end, you're kind of just like, where am I going to put this thing? And so toward the end, you can kind of lift up your belly and kind of like hold the baby up a little bit, but hold up your belly, and you kind of give yourself a little bit of a break, like a little rest, like, ah. And I had to do that for the session. I had to like maneuver, sit up as straight as I could, and then kind of when I was voicing, hold the baby up a little bit. And I don't know if he was on my diaphragm or bladder. Well, I know he was on my bladder, but it was creating some space so I could sound my, happy, more higher pitch self, which I don't consider myself a high pitch voice. But it was very substantially deeper when I was pregnant because I was exhausted. perks of a Prego belly. So if you're doing a pickup from a really long time ago, even though it is still your voice, it's basically like your voice matching yourself, which is what you are. So there's still some work to be done, right? You can't just be like, okay, cool, boom, done. So checking and practice and just understanding how your body works and how your instrument works is what I use when I'm doing a pickup from a really long time ago. If you have a question you'd like for me to cover here on this podcast, well, please ask me. You can send an email, kelly@kellywilsonvo.com. And if you're liking what I'm doing here, subscribe to my podcast, Real Talk, available everywhere you can hear those podcasts, or you can hit it direct, anchor.fm/kellywilsonvo, and find whichever platform you prefer. And if you hire voice actors, you can subscribe to my email community, kellywilsonvo.com/subscribe. And I'll remind you I exist, and I'll hook you up with 5 fantastic voice actors you should add to your roster, too. My freebie. Demos, kellywilsonvo.com. Rate, review, share, tell a friend.